Best rivalry from the AFL days. Oakland, who won the West with a very impressive 12-4 mark last year, scoring 479 points in the process. Oakland, impressive that after going 2-18 against the Chiefs for a decade, has now beaten Kansas City 3 straight times, last year sweeping him for the first time since '88. Oakland, who now has the world's leading all-time receiver in Jerry Rice. They're at the Chiefs, 7-9 last year, but the Raiders go into Arrowhead on opening day, where until last year, Kansas City had won 11 straight home openers. And into a sea of red, sails a new coach, Dick Vermeil, 2 seasons after he won the Super Bowl, the other end of the show me state in St. Louis, and a new quarterback. In the sea of red, it's Trent Green.
We're back, baby.
I'd just like to start by saying you look fantastic. You look well rested in shape, and I noticed you have blood on your shirt.
Yeah, I was picking a scab, man.
Did that scab happen when you were, like, burying a body out in the weeds in Jersey, or is that an actual, like, you know, practice scab?
Actually, I burned my arm on a lawnmower.
On a lawn? Is it the one that used to shave Barrett Robbins' head? B-Rob.
Yeah.
Look at this filthy animal from Houston, Texas. B-Rob in the house.
That's it.
What would you rather have, $1 million or B-Rob's helmet full of nickels? His helmet full of nickels.
If you could buy one bra for anyone on the line around you.
One bra? I'm not going there.
Who's the fattest guy on the team?
Who's the fattest guy on the team? Oh, Grady Jackson, no doubt.
Grady?
Yeah.
My man, Shady Grady. Now, Barrett Robbins was kind of getting loose on the size of your breastises.
Nah.
Yeah, no, we have it on tape.
We have it on tape?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna say nothing about he need a girdle, you know.
You could literally put out fires with those feet.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going into forestry afterwards. Only you can prevent forest fires.
I have the distinct honor of standing next to probably Howie Long's favorite human being, Run Run. I delivered Howie Long in the back of a cab. He was a boxer. You got 3 rings?
Yep.
For handing out water?
Yep.
Yeah, that's strong. Does your tooth ever set off metal detectors on the road?
Nah, never that.
So what are you looking for this year, man? Championship, right? Super Bowl.
Always the pot. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for at the end of the rainbow.
Did you just say you're always looking for pot?
No, I didn't say I was looking for pot. That's the pot you're looking for.
The pot.
The pot.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't say that on the air, man.
Yeah. Well, on this show, we have a little more leeway because I'm retarded.
Jerry Rice warming up as a Raider. Raiders at Chiefs. Most prolific combination ever. Steve Young, Jerry Rice. Jerry's totals, in case you've forgotten, 1,281 catches. That's 250 more than anyone else. Almost 20,000 yards, 5,000 more than anyone else. 176 touchdown catches. 75 catches he had last year with the Niners, Steve. He would have led 16 teams. Can he still be Jerry Rice as a Raider, do you think?
Yeah, Jerry turns 39 in October, and I think any 39-year-old playing wide receiver in the NFL is going to have some drop-off. But if anyone can do it with his workout regimen, Jerry Rice can. It was funny, as I went to interview him, I knew that as a player, any ex-player that came to interview me, that guy had finally gone to the dark side of the media. Well, speaking of the dark side, driving over to Raiders headquarters, it was really different to think about interviewing Jerry Rice and myself at the
Raiders
headquarters. It was very strange.
San Francisco, I always love you guys, okay? You guys are #1 for me, okay?
How weird has it been to watch the 49ers play and you not be there?
It was tough. It was really tough because, you know, I never thought, you know, I think I did when it happened, you know, to Montana and all those guys, that it was a possibility that it could happen to me, but in a way, you almost like, you go into a little denial. You say, no, it's not going to happen. And I wanted to finish as a Niner. And I couldn't watch. Basically, I couldn't watch.
I know the philosophy of the 49ers over the years for their star players was catch them as they start to come down and cut them off. How do you feel about that philosophy? How do you feel looking back at the 49ers and the way that they handled those kind of things? Not even yourself, just others.
You know, it's no animosity, but, you know, I feel when a player goes out and sacrifices like that, give everything, lay everything on the line for the organization, he should be treated a different way. Sometimes, you know, like I said, things happen for a reason, Steve. This might be better for me. This gave me a chance to rejuvenate myself all over again.
Tell people, like, they don't understand, he's done everything that you can ever do. Why?
I think the reason why is because of the love of it. It's still inside me. And this is a situation where I cannot retire and walk away then say, okay, I made a mistake, I'm coming back now. I need to get all of this out of my system. The last 3 or 4 years, it was a waste for me because, you know, the team was going in a different direction. Because of my injury, you know, they felt like I couldn't do some of the things that I was capable of doing. Now, I'm running digs, I'm running comebacks, I'm running shakes, I'm running goals. And you talking about this 39-year-old, you know, really raging downfield, running goals, running by people.
Just by the look on your face makes me want to throw you a dig or two.
Throw me a go.
Oh, man, nothing's easier than throwing you a dig or a go.
Welcome to the Black Hole. Silver and Black, Raider Nation. Welcome to Oakland, baby.
When we played an exhibition a couple years ago, we came over here for the first time in a long time, and it was crazy. And it was like, you didn't feel that you were in danger, but it was a little crazy. Now I understand that, like, they are your people. Tell me about that transformation.
It's a whole different crowd, man. The thing is, they want to win.
Yeah.
And the silver and black, it's beautiful on me, man. It looks real good. Look at it.
You do love the color.
You know, I have, you know, come on, Steve, always, you know, from the Bay, you know, across the Bay, I have always admired the silver and black. I just like
color
the color
scheme.
Yeah.
Just as a fashion statement. it does, you know,
So,
might have made me look, I look a little plump in the red and gold. Maybe it would have made me look thinner.
That's what I'm saying. I could,
Yeah,
you know,
don't go there. Don't
you
go
know
there.
what? Now, I think you would have looked great in that silver and black, man.
Well, when Rich gets hurt,
But you
let me
came
know.
close.
Let me know. One of the favorite touchdowns I ever threw you was against the Raiders on Monday night that broke the record because it was one of the typical throws I made. It really was kind of crappy and kind of behind you.
I wouldn't say that.
But it was behind you and you made a play and you went up for the touchdown.
You put the ball up there, you gave me an opportunity. But, you know, I've been taught over the years to go up and attack the ball at its highest peak. And I did, and we went down in history.
Obviously, Boom, a bittersweet interview for me. I think that I really got a sense of where Jerry's headed. I think, like the final record I think he would like to take into the record books is maybe beating George Blanda's record of being a player on the field, not a kicker, at 43 years old. I think he wants to prove that his body can go that long.
That's unbelievable.
It really is.
43 years old, huh? That was great. Conversation between two friends. You want to throw him a couple more.
Yeah, I'd like to throw a couple
I know. I know who I'm sitting here with. We have offense come out of that game. Now, speaking of great rivalries, Jerry Rice is a Raider. Dick Vermeil is a Chief, but it's Raiders-Chiefs. So new participants in an old rivalry. And Eric Warfield steps in front of Rice and picks off Rich Loose Gannon. 7-0 Chiefs, 55 yards to the chagrin of John Gruden. 3rd and 8 now in the first. For the Raiders, Gannon to Jerry Rice. William belly up to the bar team. Hits Rice, but he holds on his first catch as Raiders. Sounds wrong. Jerry Rice. Gannon Rice, 23 yards. Raiders. Jerry caught 8 on the day. 2 plays later, 2nd and 12. From a 21, Gannon is nailed by Greg Wesley. It's a fumble. Chiefs recover at their own 28. Now, second quarter, spirited game at Arrowhead, as so many of these in this series have been. Gannon's going to look for Charlie Garner and watch Jerome Woods come right here, Tom.
Yeah, Jerome Woods is going to make the hit right there. You see Charlie Garner go out of bounds. Great job of holding on to the football. Gets called out of bounds. The refs would come over and review the play. It looks clearly, as you watch the replay, like Charlie Garner's feet were going to come down in bounds had he not been hit by Jerome Woods. However, the officials didn't see it that way.
Well, we'll talk more about how the replacement officials did. By and large, no huge problems. Certainly you're going to have some questions. Tim Brown thought there were huge problems, and he incurs a flag at this point. scores, 7 Gannon, by the way, at that point had completed 11 straight. But the Chiefs lead 17-6 until Gannon, Tim Brown, a quiet first half, but boy, a pretty noisy second half. They go for 2 and make it. It's a 17-14 game. Now tied at 17, Raiders at their own 45. Charlie Garner didn't have big numbers, but that's what he can provide you. And then here's Gannon to Timmy Brown, who caught 8 for 133.
The go-to guy. I mean, a lot of people contributed in this offense today, but when you really needed a play, when Gannon wanted to get the ball to somebody, he got it to Tim Brown.
And then Gannon to fullback John Lionel Richie. Oh, what a feeling. Dancing on the ceiling. 24-17. And now the next drive for the Chiefs. 4th and 10 from the 42. Trent Green, the new Chiefs quarterback. Yes, that's who you block, Tony Richardson. 49 puts a big block on. And 12-yard scramble first down for the Chiefs. The 2nd and 10 from the 30. Green to Snoop Minnis, that 3rd-round pick from Florida State. What a game. We're tied at 24.
And he beats Charles Woodson, who's an all-pro, does a great job holding him off and keeping his arms up under the football. No question he caught the ball.
Under a minute left, 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at the 47 of the Chiefs. Gannon to Timmy Brown, 33 yards to the chagrin of Dick Vermeil. Sebastian Janikowski, 31-yard attempt with 18 seconds to go. It's good thing he got it up high, and it's good. It's good. The Raiders lead 27-24. Green, last gasp. He's going to have to wing it and hope. Charles Woodson picks it off. And after going 2-18 over a 20-game span against the Chiefs in the 90s, the Raiders have won 4 straight. What a game this was. 27-24. The Raiders have beaten the Chiefs, who have been 11-2 the last 13 years in home openers. You see some of the numbers. Gannon, 31-46 for 341. For the first time, Jerry Rice, a part of this Raiders-Chiefs rivalry, an eye-opener.
I think the entire world basically got what they wanted today. You know, it was some mistakes out there, but overall it was a hard-fought game. I really didn't know the magnitude of this game until I ran on the football field, and very hostile crowd, very hostile crowd, man. But you know, this Raider Kansas City rivalry, just unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there are a lot of good rivalries. Here's one of them, and a game played to the T.
Well, I think it was a classic Chiefs-Raider rivalry and a Chief-Raider game. And what you saw was a lot of hard hitting. But I think the contributions by the Raiders, you had a good game by Gannon. You had 8 catches by Tim Brown, 8 by Jerry Rice. Charlie Garner, I think, gives them more consistency than Napoleon Kaufman did. And when you heard Jerry Rice talk about the fact that, boy, I learned something about this rivalry, I think that Dick Vermeil did as well. I think that, you know, being in the NFC West, a little bit different than being in the AFC West. So I think he learned now the kind of ball that his team might have to play in order to win football games.
Presenting sponsorship. Jerry Rice, first game that meant something, and he stepped right into a rivalry game with the Chiefs and the Raiders. And Jerry said the emotion was something he heard about all week, but then finally got a sense of once the game got going. Sterling, he caught 8 balls.
He did a very nice job. I mean, I think he had one drop that I wish he had over, but he did a very nice job.
This gained for 11 yards. Jerry Rice, as frequent a target of Rich Gannon as Tim Brown was he used just in the role he was in San Francisco and moved around a little bit?
I think he's moved around a little bit. Jerry seems to be moving a little bit better off motion, so John did a good job of keeping him on the move, allowing him to see things on the run. He reads defenses very well, caught the football in his hands very well, too.
And the touchdown here that he had to turn around for.
That's the one he wants back, because he should make that catch.
Jerry. Impressive fashion at the end, 27-24 in KC. No bargain place to play a road game either. If the Dolphins want to show everyone how far they've come, here's a perfect spot. Now, last year, remember, they were summarily bounced from the playoffs by the Raiders. Game was really won early, late first quarter, Miami driving. Torrey James picked off Jay Fiedler, went all the way, 90-yard touchdown, scoreless game over. Raiders were on their way to a 27-0. Back to NFL prime time. 2 teams impressive wins in week 1 on the road. The Raiders winning at Kansas City. Miami winning at Tennessee. John Gruden, emotional. On a very hot day in Miami, Jay Fiedler was hot early and then late. This is late second quarter, 3rd and goal. Fiedler takes it in, and Miami leads 7-6. Fiedler back to pass, picked up by Anthony Dorsett, 26 yards. Raiders don't get 2, but they lead it 15-10 early 4th.
Anthony Dorsett does a great job here of staying in his zone. They try to pull him up with the slot guy going inside. He doesn't do it. He fades to the outside, looks up the receiver, makes a great grab, gets a score for his team.
Remember last year the Raiders doused the Dolphins in the playoffs 27-0. Fiedler slides. He is drilled by Johnny Harris, William Thomas, shaken. He's tougher than you think, much tougher. Stays in the game. The Dolphins punting at this stage. Under 2 minutes with the score, 15-10, Miami in business, but in their own territory. Fiedler, Dedrick Ward, the former Jet, out of bounds, 20 yards. Next play, Fiedler. It's not a major play, but it's a nice pickup to Travis Minor. Out of bounds, 8 yards. Fiedler. Top pick from Wisconsin, Chris Chambers, one of the Chambers brothers. 27 yards. 1st and 10 of the 26. Fiedler. From behind second base, Oronde Gadsden, 6 yards. 3rd and 3. Fiedler looking for Gadsden, who's such a good leaper. And the Raiders are there in defendants, and now, Tommy, we're 4th and 3 at the 18. Gruden says one play, and we got a tough win on the road. Fiedler throwing from shortstop, now running out. Ward, what a clutch play. Tick, 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 tick. 1st and goal. Fiedler smells the foul line to 3rd base. He's down at the 2. Got to spike it. Tick, tick, tick. They do spike it. 3rd and goal from the 2. 12 seconds to go. Fiedler rolling, looking around former teammate Trace Armstrong. It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. Miami, with seconds to go, has taken a 16-15 lead. Gruden wants to review it, but after further review,
you take a look at the replay, you can see Fiedler does a great job of stretching out, keeping his legs up in the air. That ball is across the plane before his knee hits. Good call by the refs.
And the Miami Dolphins go for the 2 points and get it. They win it 18-15. Jay Fiedler, a much tougher customer than a lot of people understand. They understand that Miami has a rock-solid defense, and the Dolphins, to me, as impressive an opening 2 wins as any team in football, Tom, at Tennessee and winning against the Raiders.
Well, outstanding.
Get nasty! Make it physical! Make it bounce!
Whenever the Oakland Raiders face the Miami Dolphins, tighten up the chin strap. Both teams landed heavy punches. But only one would be left standing.
Battling toe-to-toe, man. Keep getting stronger. 2 heavyweights battling toe-to-toe. Keep getting stronger. Let's go.
Last Sunday, yards in the trenches were precious and few, so the Raiders unleashed Charlie Garner out on the edges as a receiver. The result, 6 catches, 75 yards, and a 6-0 lead.
Give me Zebra Garner! Zebra Garner!
Charlie Garner has been the main man on the offense of the Raiders.
Charlie Garner has been unstoppable today.
Good drive. Good drive. Way to go, oh. Good drive. Great job. Good job. Good protection. A lot of time, man. Great job.
Oakland was punishing Miami slowly on both sides of the ball. It wasn't until the second quarter that Jay Fiedler completed his first pass. But with 20 seconds left in the half, the Dolphins had marched to the Raider 2.
Fiedler in the shotgun, waits for the snap from center. He takes it. Quarterback draw. Fiedler's in. Quarterback draw. Fiedler. Touchdown from 2 yards out.
And how magnificent was that? And they have put a touchdown on the board.
This is the tempo of the second half, okay? This is where we were against Kansas City. This is where we are today. Right kick, L4 rover. Hit on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hit, baby!
Under the blazing South Florida sun, the final 30 minutes would be just like the first. The winner would be the team with will and staying power. The team that could take the big hit and come back for more. In the third quarter, the Dolphins grabbed back a 10-9 lead, settling for a field goal after this near miss by Aronde Gadsden. Who would crack first? Who would make the fatal mistake? The answer came early in the final quarter.
Blitz Willie Thomas, throw intercepted, and going back for a touchdown will be Anthony Dorsett. Touchdown, Raiders!
Fiedler threw it right into double coverage.
There was no one between Dorsett and the end zone.
My goodness gracious.
The final bell was about to toll. The Dolphins were on the ropes, and Oakland was poised for the knockout.
2 more minutes. One of the greatest pictures for the Raiders. Just keep reaching now. Keep reaching. Okay?
Hoping against hope, Jay Fiedler took the field one more time. There was little reason to think he had any chance at all. After all, he had been intercepted twice, and his last 7 passes had either been returned for a touchdown or had sailed out of reach. Even worse, just minutes before, Fiedler was decked. He was staggered. Teammates urged him to sit out the rest of the series. Somehow he stayed in. Now with 80 long yards to travel against a defense that had battered him all day, Fiedler had little time and no timeouts.
41 set!
Jay Fiedler gets the snap from Tim Ruddy, looking to throw. Hit as he throws downfield. It's complete to Dedrick Ward, and he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. There's a 20-yard chunk.
That is exactly what the Dolphins needed.
3-man defensive front by the Raiders, but they may bring some extra. No, they do not. Only a 3-man rush. Fiedler looking, scrambling out of the pocket to the right side. Now fires to the sideline. It's complete down to the 25-yard line. Chris Chambers hauls it in.
He threw a laser shot in there. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Looks one way. Now scrambling to the right side. Throws back over the middle. It's complete down to the 9-yard line. Dedrick Ward on the catch. Clock is running, though, and the Dolphins have a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. 28 seconds left of the game. Here's Fiedler looking, quarterback draw. He runs it up the middle. He's down to the 2-yard line. Dolphins have to hurry up and get back to the line of scrimmage. They're signaling to spike the ball. 12 seconds remaining.
After a hurried clock-stopping spike, Fiedler mustered his men one more time at the Raider 2. He had launched the unlikely drive by completing 4 in a row. Now he needed to finish what he started. A run-pass option was sent in. 12 seconds remained. The Raiders dug in.
Fiedler fakes one way, rolling back the other way. Lots of time, looking into the end zone. Nobody there. He'll run. He's in! Yes! Jay Fiedler runs for the touchdown. Touchdown, Miami. 5 seconds left in the game. Jay Fiedler did it with his legs again. Was rolling to the right, couldn't find anybody open in the end zone, and ran it in.
There is pandemonium in this building. Oh, my God, the Dolphins have come storming back. They're going to win this football game. You talk about a will to win. This Dolphin team today just would not give up.
Home opener against the Seattle Seahawks. Matt Hasselbeck, Seahawks. Mike Holmgren's team has not scored a touchdown yet this year. Hasselbeck to Ricky running Waters. Picks up 11 yards. Seattle off to a good start. You know, baseball teams are playing up north. Football teams playing in the south. Audible at the line. Waters stopped. Seahawks drive stalls. Hasselbeck to Mike Holmgren. I don't think he likes the explanation. Waters injured his wrist on the carry. Right shoulder, I should say. Would not return. Meanwhile, Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice. Home opener for Jerry as a Raider. Touchdown, 33 yards.
Yeah, looking to show a little bit of what he can do. And watch Charles Woodson. This is the great sprint and the burst and speed that he has. He's able to make a break on the football. Then let's take another look at him here. Looks like he's in man-to-man coverage. The motion comes. He starts to follow the motion across and then changes his mind, comes up with a blitz right up the middle of the field. Great job of getting all over Hasselbeck.
2 plays later, watching the spot. There you go. Woodson in motion. Excuse me, that's Gannon to Rice. touchdown, second of the game, 24-0. Tell you what, the defense of the Seahawks looked terrible last week against Philly, doing the same against Oakland. Trent Dilfer gets a chance at quarterback. However, wouldn't last long. Looking for Darrell Jackson, 54-yard game, but it came at a big price. And Elijah Alexander, no need, I don't think.
Well, he was thrown out of this game, and he's going to hear from the commissioner's office and Gene Washington, and there may be certainly going to be a fine and possible suspension for that hit because he launched himself into Dilfer.
Meanwhile, the Raiders launched themselves into the Seahawks, upping their mark to 2-1, winning 38-14. 3 touchdown passes for Rich Gannon, 2 of them to Jerry Rice. In a big opening game, didn't do much at Miami, then comes back with this game. It's going to be like that.
Well, and good to see Rich Gannon, though, get back on track. Had a very tough weekend last week. He comes back this week, does a great job of making plays from the pocket.
To the Raiders, and
His infamous black hole exerted its gravitational pull on first-time visitor Matt Hasselbeck, who was sacked 6 times before exiting the game with a strained groin.
Woodson blitzing. Woodson throws him down back on the 17-yard line.
Things spun further out of orbit for Seattle when Ricky Waters' replacement Sean Alexander entered the game. That big sucking sound Mike Holmgren heard was the air leaving his team as Rich Gannon pulled apart Seattle's defense. Gannon threw 3 touchdowns and building a 38-point Oakland lead.
Gonna throw one to Wiggly, got it. 5, Wiggly dives, touchdown, Raiders!
2 of those scoring strikes went to Jerry Rice, his first while wearing silver and black. Rice is looking forward to many more trips into the center of the black hole.
Niners at home in the ESPN game. Jerry Rice and the Raiders at home in the afternoon against Dallas. Tim Brown fired up. Rich Gannon says, well, even though Dallas is going to hit you, here's 16 yards. Then Gannon, Jerry Rice. Jerry caught 7 for 51 yards. Play action, Gannon off the infield, which the Oakland A's will certainly be using soon. Complete to Brown. Then Gannon, plenty of time. Jerry Rice, touchdown. 7-0. Dallas with the ball. Quincy Carter pulls up limping while throwing a pass. Strained hammy. So they go to Anthony Wright. I can't. Bring in Anthony Wright. You know what? They're all right with him. Down 14-0 Dallas at the 50. Wright to Joey Galloway. 2 years later, paying dividends. 14-7. The lead is cut to a touch. 21-7. Dallas kicks off. David Dunn fumbles. Robert Thomas recovers.
This is earlier in the game, and this is Lynn Scott on punt coverage. He got knocked out of bounds. This time he goes downfield, beats the blockers, makes the great hit, initially causes the hit that ends up in the fumble.
Tim Cedar's field goal is blocked, so Dallas could not capitalize. To score 28-7, it's a fake. Tim Passover Cedar. Touchdown, 28-14. No one needs Elijah. Meanwhile, Wright to Darren Chiaverini has pulled Dallas to 28-21. The good hands people cannot recover the onside kick. Give Dallas credit. They've played closer games until Arizona's win today of the NFC least, but Oakland wins at 28-21.
Well, I think the Raiders have really made use of the weapons that they have, run the ball well, and what a surprise Jerry Rice has been early on.
Raiders owner Al Davis may not believe in business attire, but his team can always dress down an opponent. Jerry Rice got the scoring started. When Zach Crockett continued the trend, it appeared Oakland was fashioning a blowout. But Dallas kept up appearances and showed they had a few tricks up their sleeves.
Right hash, high snap, fake field goal, handoff Cedar. Breaks a tackle, runs up the middle. Touchdown Cowboys.
There you go.
The Cowboys' surprises couldn't slow down Tyrone Wheatley, whose 2 touchdowns kept Dallas winless on the season. At 3-1, John Gruden's Raiders look like a model team in the tough AFC West.
Never forget the day, for a couple of reasons. The day started off with the firing of Bob Knight and ended with the Raiders coming back from a 21-point deficit to beat the Colts. Knight is still gone, but the Raiders return Sunday night at the RCA Dome. The Colts, Peyton Manning and company, coming off a bye week. Raiders up 6-3 second quarter. Colts on their 37. Peyton Manning drops back, and Anthony Dorsett is gone. Manning's 4th interception return for a TD in only 4 games. 13-3 Raiders. Raiders up 20-9 third quarter. Manning. Marvin Harrison off the deflection. The ball goes into the hands of Ken Dilger, knocked out by Johnny Harris's helmet. Harrison keeps his feet inbounds. 2-point conversion, no good. Wow. The Raiders led it 20-15. Colts driving, down 23-18. Peyton Manning, 9th interception of the year. That would seal it. Torrey James brings in this one. The look of disgust in Peyton Manning's face tells it all. 23-18 the final. Tim Brown 7 catches for a $145. His 3rd 100-yard game of the year. He had 2 all of last season. As I mentioned, 4 of Manning's 9 picks this season have been returned for touchdowns, including the playoffs. The Raiders are now 5-1 lifetime on the road against the Colts.
Start this. This is for first place in the AFC. First place starts with the first game. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Against the Colts Sunday night, Oakland did just that.
Manning going to throw on the move. Intercepted. It's going to be a touchdown for Anthony Dorsett, his 2nd of the year. Manning threw the ball directly to Dorsett.
It was Peyton Manning's 4th touchdown pass to an opposing player this season and 3rd in consecutive weeks. Rich Gannon then found Tim Brown at the Indianapolis 1 to set up another Oakland score.
All I'm going to tell you guys, if you get Navajo, just follow the stem down. So if you're in 72 or 22 and you get the late stem, just follow to the razor. You don't have to worry about trying to get the calls. You're going to have to sight adjust it on the move. You got me?
Who knows what any of that means, but Peyton Manning kept the Colts in the game with 2 scoring passes to Marvin Harrison, number 88. The first was by design, the other remarkably improvised.
Sets, looks, fires in the end zone. Touchdown! No! Yeah, it is! I think! Touchdown! It is a touchdown! Marvin Harrison on the deflection!
Trailing by 5, Manning and the Colts had one last shot.
Manning out of the gun. Harrison wide right. Throws one, intercepted by Torrey James. The Raiders are going to win the football game.
Listen, let me tell you guys this. I'm so proud of you guys. Gut check. You guys got a lot of guys hurt. You guys had to step up. You had to do it, and you did it. And by God, you get tomorrow off, man. You get Tuesday off.
Good, Rich Gannon, here we go, Rick.
Oh, next play, Rich Gannon. Did you hear that? That's me.
Excuse Rich Gannon for being surprised. He's been in the league since 1988, but at first, he had a tough time proving he belonged as a quarterback.
When you were drafted by the Patriots, what was your reaction when they said that they were going to make you a defensive back?
I love playing quarterback, and I really felt like I was good enough to play in the National Football League and you know, be a quarterback. I think the other thing is I was smart enough to realize that having never played the position, you know, how could I go into a National Football League training camp out of the University of Delaware and all of a sudden put on a different set of shoulder pads, a different helmet, and go play defense? And the chances of making the football team were slim to none. I just didn't feel like that was the right thing.
Gannon did make the Minnesota Vikings as a quarterback, but despite flashes of NFL ability, he didn't match the prototype of a full-time starter.
Got room to run to the 15, tries to get wide at the 10, cuts it back to the 5, touchdown! Rich Gannon, super run!
When you were with the Vikings, you had that season when you were about 11-5. You take the team to the playoffs, And then they put in who? Sean Salisbury?
Right.
What did you think about that?
It was a disaster. I mean, we had developed a pretty good thing there in Minnesota, and I'd worked a long time to kind of earn the respect of the offensive line and the guys around me, and we got off to a great start. We're 8-3, and I got sat down at halftime against Cleveland. I think the score at the time was 0-0. Denny Green never even came to me to tell me that I wasn't going to play the second half. The offensive coordinator came up to me and said, we're going to go with Sean, and we went out winning the football game, and then that next week, he never came to me and told me I wasn't going to start the following week. I just didn't think it was handled very well, and our relationship from there just deteriorated, and I got traded the following year.
So then you go to Kansas City, and it's almost a repeat. You go to Kansas City, you take the team into the playoffs, and then Elvis Gerback comes in. Did you ever get a sense then, Rich, that, what the hell's going on here?
All I ever wanted was a coach to believe in me, to give me an opportunity to start week 1 and to see what I could do with the football team through the course of a season. And fortunately for me, and it's taken a while, but I found that guy in John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders.
Come on, let's win a toss. Give me the ball.
Hey, during the regular season, do you think about kicking or no?
Not in this weather.
That's so nice.
Not with our offense. Kidding me? I want the ball back. It's like arena football.
Can you describe your meeting with John Gruden when you finally decided that, all right, I'm going to go with the Raiders. This is the guy I want to play for.
Well, it was a pretty interesting visit. We went to some Mexican joint, I would call it.
It's one of my favorite places, and we talked for a couple hours.
And then from there, I guess it was time to entertain me, and so he said, well, what would you want to do? And I guess there was the opportunity to go to a Warriors game, or to go to a banquet, or to go stop at a 7-Eleven and pick up a six-pack of beer and go back to his office and watch film. So I chose the latter, and we went back, and
we watched practice film, game film. We watched film until late into the night.
And we started talking about the offense. And
Rich wanted to keep talking football, and so did I.
Just his enthusiasm for the game.
Back up at me, Rich. Back up at me. Bam! I want you to bring it down. I want to knock him out with the ball, okay?
They are separated by only 2 years of age. Two guys crazy about football, trying not to drive each other crazy.
92 week, Rich.
I get in there, I get 3 runs. So I'll just have to audible, just to piss John off, and then you get a little throw in there.
We interviewed John about you, and he said, Rich is the most miserable person I have ever met, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah. Well, he used to call me a Philly cab driver. I think he realizes I play the game with a certain chip on my shoulder. I feel in a way that I've been slighted by the National Football League. I'm the long shot, and I feel like I've lasted because I've had that Philly swagger, that Rocky mentality, and I think I use that to help me perform and to help me to get ready to play.
He reminds me a lot of myself in some ways.
Come on, let's go. Let's get after their ass.
Get after his ass.
Run right through these people.
Come on now, let's hurt him. Let's hurt him.
I've seen him have very little tolerance for anything but perfection.
Jerry! Jerry! Keep coming back! Damn, wait! Come on! Wait, when you go, baby. Just go 100 miles an hour. Because you know what happens, Wee? If you run, he runs with you, I run.
Rolling right again, same play. Brown covered. Gannon now running around.
It's great to have quarterbacks that can run.
He signed with the Raiders, and I let him know right away, I'm going to go down with you, or we're going to fly high together. And, he's one of the great competitors that maybe I'll ever have a chance to be around.
Is it true that you had all the video games taken out of the locker room because you felt it was a distraction?
Yeah, there's some truth to that. In fact, in my first visit to the facility, I was getting the tour, and we came upon this room. There's a pool table in there, and then there's the video games, and I was shocked. I really was. I mean, when do the players have time to do this? Well, at lunchtime, and I said, well, why aren't they watching film at lunchtime? I mean, if you worked at IBM, did they have a playroom at lunchtime? I just went in there one day, and I took all the stuff out of there and took the pool balls. And
you did it yourself?
I took the pool balls, put them in a box, and threw them above my locker, and then I told them that I took it, and that if they had a problem, to come see me. And unfortunately, a couple guys did come see me. Guys would come and say, I think that we need the balls back. But you know what's amazing is those same guys that came to me and said that are no longer with our football team. And that's the reality.
Both quarterback and head coach are strict on preparation, though they don't necessarily keep the same hours.
Well, obviously, it's impossible to beat the guy to work. I mean, I think he's in there about 4:15 in the morning. So I came one morning and the front door was locked. And I mean, there was nobody around. I was sitting there and I'm thinking, you know, I'm losing this opportunity to watch film. I got a lift at 7 o'clock. And so I looked up into the corner office and there's that little light on. And so I figured that's the only way I'm going to get in, you know. And so I just looked for something to kind of get his attention. And so
you were throwing rocks at his window to get his attention?
Yeah, I was. You know, I'm trying to, win a championship here. I'm trying to do everything I can. Why don't you help me out? Why don't you let me in the building in the morning so I can get my work done? So they made me a key.
Since he was handed the keys to the offense, Rich Gannon has gone to 2 straight Pro Bowls and led the Raiders to the AFC Championship.
Gannon back to pass on 3rd and 9. Throws end zone. Touchdown! What a pass there by Gannon!
What do you think, in your mind, is your biggest contribution to the Raiders?
Hopefully my legacy is that I came in to instill some leadership and some values in a team that, in my opinion, was down and out. And I'm not trying to take all the credit, but when I was with Kansas City, we consistently gave those guys a whooping.
Gannon being chased again, got him open. Block wide open, touchdown, Kansas City. Rich Gannon, damn boy, I love you.
There was a belief in Kansas City that if you played with those guys and you kept the game close, somewhere along the line they'd make a mistake or they'd quit. When I came there, I made sure that everyone on that team knew that that's how the Chiefs felt about the Raiders.
Listen, I've been in this situation 10 times against this team. We go in there and we smash them and we kill their will, and this game is over.
I tried to challenge them and make them work harder and try and take their game to the next level so that wouldn't be the case anymore.
In fact, Rich Gannon and the Raiders have beaten the Chiefs 4 straight times. Now, with Gruden in his corner, the Philly long shot has become the Raiders' best shot for an NFL title.
You know, he believed in me. I think that when you're a quarterback, there's nothing more important than to know that you got a head coach that believes in you, is going to stick with you through thick and thin. And, I always refer back to the piece that you guys did with Ron Jaworski and Dick Vermeil. And Jaworski throws an interception. He comes to the sidelines, and Dick tells him that, hey, listen, you're my guy, and I'm not going to take you out.
You never have to worry about me jerking you. I know it. All right.
I'm not going to jerk you. That was it. I think that piece really stuck in my mind. That's something that I've always wanted in a head coach, and I never really had it until my 13th year in the National Football League with John Gruden.
Hey, you got a game ball here, man. You know who it's going to go to. Our guy, man. Our leader, the guy who does it all for us, man. The guy who works harder than anybody in this whole organization. The guy who cares about every one of us succeeding and winning the championship. John, thanks, bro.
Finally, I have that relationship with the guy who believes in me, who's going to stick by me, and it's going to give me a chance to go out and do what I do best.
Hey, Rich, you got me? All right, bro, good luck.
From different paths. The Raiders off last week enjoying a 3-game winning streak, while the Eagles worked just last Monday night, throwing a 500-pound gorilla off their back by beating the Giants after 9 straight losses. Will they have enough in the tank after such an emotional first-place teams? Andy Reid, first-place Eagles, at home against John Gruden and the first-place Raiders. Gruden, once offensive coordinator with Philadelphia from 95 to 97 under Ray Rhodes. Charlie Garner used to be a running back with Philadelphia. But meanwhile, to this game, Shane Leckler muffs punt, knocked out of bounds. Eagles take over. Donovan McNabb, but Elijah Alexander comes in. What? Run, bump, stumble. Your basic 28-yard loss for Philadelphia.
Yeah, you see Alexander come in from the top of the screen. He comes in untouched. McNabb loses the football. The linemen are going to have a hard time fielding it. But finally, the Eagles do a good job of falling on the football.
Good job after a 28-yard loss. Meanwhile, Charlie Garner, he's in, playing for an injured Tyrone Wheatley. 3 yards, 7-0. There it is. Philly, no yards in the first. I mean, it's like the first half Monday night when they had the ball under 5 minutes. Rich Gannon drops back to Jerry Rice. Wide open, 33 yards. Next play, with a 10-3 lead, early third. Look at Garner off tackle. Boy, he runs hard. 23 yards for Oakland, 1st and goal. Oakland. 3rd and goal. Gannon looking for Rice. Official calls holding on the Eagles after Jerry very upset. And Brian Dawkins is all over him here, Tom.
Yeah, you watch Jerry Rice gets down the field, he gets square, he starts to try to get outside, and Dawkins does a job of just kind of mugging him as he goes toward the sideline, and Jerry was looking for a flag.
Zach Crockett with the cap, right? With the raccoon cap. He's in the end zone, 17-3 Raiders. Donovan McNabb drops back. Josh Taves pulls him down. Raiders, solid game. McNabb to James Thrash, but he can only get 6 yards on 3rd and 10. Eagles go for it on 4th, late in the 3rd. McNabb buying time, but Charles Woodson. The battle of two sets of strong corners in this game. And even though the Eagles scored later on, it's Oakland that's 5-1. Maybe as solid a team as in the league right now, Tom. They win it 20-10 at Philadelphia. Eagles 1-3 at home.
Yeah, and solid play offensively, defensively. You look at the skill positions offensively with Gannon and Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, Garner. This is a solid group and the first team in the AFC to 5-1.
Oakland at the...
Let's get them up. They only remember the winners, baby. They only remember the winners. Nobody remember second place. Let's do what we came to do today, baby. Try it again. We're back in Philly. We're back in Philly, baby. What you gonna do back in Philly?
Charlie Garner returned to Philadelphia behind the lead blocking of fullback John Ritchie, and his effort helped the Raiders dominate the game by dominating the line of scrimmage. Garner's determined running helped the Raiders to control the ball for over 40 minutes, and in the first quarter, he scored the game's first touchdown.
We need 7-0.
Back goes Gannon, gives it to Garner. He's in for a
touchdown.
Charlie Garner just raced up the middle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oakland's defense focused its attack on Philadelphia's primary weapon. Fueled by an unrelenting pass rush, the Raiders' defense smothered Donovan McNabb in the passing pocket and cut off every avenue of escape. 4 sacks of the elusive McNabb kept the Eagles' offense stuck in reverse.
Back goes McNabb under a rush. Here it comes. He fumbles the football. That play will lose 33 yards.
Faced by defenders like number 24, Charles Woodson, the Raiders held the Eagles to less than 200 total yards. Philadelphia didn't convert on 3rd down until the game's final 5 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Raiders dominated the Eagles and enjoyed every blow that it took to win the battle.
Hey, you took one to the chin for the team, Johnny. You took one in the chin for the team. In the chin right here for the team. On the first play when they ran, when there was two receivers over there and I was over. Yeah. You see me outside? No, you was outside. And I was outside like a mother. I was like this. Oh. And they snapped the ball, you jumped back. I was outside. What's up, Phil, Joe? 24, you know we don't talk. I already know. I just thought I'd say what's up, man. Wayne asked about it. Oh, yeah? Thought I'd say what's happening. What's going on over here? I mean, what? Little dialogue between me and the ref. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get a couple calls or something?
As it turned out, Woodson and the fierce Raiders defense didn't need any help.
McNabb back. He's looking. He is firing, and it is incomplete. Charles Woodson was in perfect position to knock it away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oakland's offense made it look like a walk in the park as they ran up over 350 yards of offense in a 20-10 victory.
1 yard, 1 yard.
1st and goal inside the 1. Give us to Crockett, touchdown.
You all right? The dog's barking. You know. I'm worried about the dog. I'm worried about you. Oh, yeah, I'm cool. I can't wait to get out these shoes.
The Raiders can't wait to return home this Monday to host the Broncos, a team they haven't beaten in their last 7 tries.
The 12th time, tying a record, the Raiders and Broncos throw down on Monday Night Football. And check this out. the Denver Broncos have beat down Oakland 7 straight. That's 7 straight games overall. 11 of the last 12. And listen to Oakland's coach, the 0-for-7 run. Please, says John Gruden, hey, we've won 4 straight football games. I don't know any other streak you're talking about. Raiders-Broncos means Gruden versus Greasy. The NFL's top receiver this year, Rod Smith, against the NFL's top receiver ever, Jerry Rice. There have been 19,992 points scored on Monday night. 12 of them came on the arm of Sean Salisbury. Sean, thanks for the contribution on Monday night. You want to contribute on this highlight, too?
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but let me for a minute. 12 of them, babe.
That's 2 touchdown passes, Sean. That's all. Just 2 on Monday night. Last 4 meetings between the Raiders and Broncos decided by 21 total points. It is our Sports Center Showcase highlight. Terrell Davis playing for the Broncos for the first time since week 1. Raider Nation citizens Jason Jambi, linebacker size, 6'3", 235, 38 homers this year. And Tom Hanks, his band of brothers, he wasn't a hero, but he played with a lot of them. First quarter, Raiders on the Broncos 11. Rich Ganton getting his hook on with Tim Brown money. Second touchdown this year, 7th of his career for Brown. Sean, simple but classic.
Yeah, it was. Take a look at this now. Watch this. How he sets him up. That line's telling me where I want to go. Keep it thin. Look what he does to Walker. Turns the shoulders. If you're him, you're saying he's going to the corner. Nope. That's what the classic part of it is. Skinny post. You're going to see that X there. You know why? You don't want a man coming over, so you got to stay skinny. Not P-H-A-T, fat. Stay skinny. Touchdown, Tim Brown.
First drive for the Broncos, 1st and 10 in the 24. Terrell Davis doing work, 15 yards to the 9. Since blowing out his knee in October of '99, TD has only played 6 games. He's missed 29. Good to see him back. But on 3rd and goal from the 13, barely hangs on to the pitch, stumbles, loses 8 yards. Still, though, Davis 17 carries, 70 yards in. Jason Elam, 39 yards. Sweet music, a thug instrumental. Point number 1,000 of Elam's career, 20,002 for Monday Night Football. Elam wanted the ball, but the ref said, yo, I know it's a record for you, but this is football history. Joe Horrigan, Vice President of Pro Football, taking it to the Hall of Fame. Next drive, Sean, can I get some Jerry Rice love?
You can get some Jerry Rice love. Watch the unselfishness. This is Jerry Rice, the best ever. Calling him in to max protect. You think he's going out on the route? No. Watch what he does. Picks up the blitz, stays in there, gets that booty down, eyes up, chests him up. Rich throws to the other Jerry, big physical Jerry Porter. How about that front selfishness, Stu?
Jerry Rice, baby, got back. 2nd quarter, Gannon to Rice. This is like, whoa. Rice in his 39th career Monday night game, a new record, breaking the tie with Dan Marino. Jerry's also 39 years old. Next play, Gannon runs around right in, but watch him get smacked by Kenoy Kennedy. AFC's top-rated passer went down in a heap, Sean.
Might be as valuable to his team as anybody, so there was some worry. Take a look at this. It's a legal hit. That's just football. Looked like he was out before he even hit the ground. Comes up, little grass. Turned out okay. Now, John's talking nice. Yeah, hit him in the head. He's saying, I love you, Rich. Everything's good. Bad call by you, ref.
Well, who replaces him?
Rodney Pete. You know him? I know him. Played with him. I mean, on the same team as him. There's Rich.
Rich was hurt back in '92, huh?
Yeah.
Placed him in. Who's that man?
You're only human.
That's Sean Salisbury.
You see him?
Rodney Pete's first play. By the way, Sean, you are wearing purple boxer briefs right now, right? Pete hands off to Zach Crockett for the touchdown. Rodney Pete's first NFL game since week 16 of '99. 2nd quarter, Elam trying a 47-yard field goal, partially blocked by Anthony Dorsett. Raiders led 21-6 at the break. 3rd quarter, Brian Greasy, represent kid to Rod Smith. Smith, 10 catches, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns, 67 catches, most ever after 8 games. While he caught the ball, 3-time Pro Bowler Charles Woodson out of the game with turf toe. 21 seconds up in the 3rd, Gannon to Tim Brown. Y'all got to give me that. Tim Brown, 89 career touchdowns, 5th all-time. Raiders up 28-12. 4th quarter, Broncos on their own 32. Greasy, player hated by William Thomas. Greasy, 11 picks in his last 6 games. He only threw 4 all of last year. Raiders would later score. Beat the Denver Broncos and break that 0-for-7 skid against Denver. 38-28 final. First win against the Broncos since a 28-25 win, Week 8 of the '97 season. This is only the 2nd time the Raiders have started at least 6-1 in back-to-back seasons. The other time, 76 and 77, the days of Kenny Stabler, Cliff Branch, Mark Van Egan, the Stork. I'm sorry, I just got a little bit carried away. Jerry Rice catches a pass for his NFL record 232nd straight game. Teammate Tim Brown ups his mark to 131 straight games with at least one catch. After the game, he ran up to Andrea Kramer and said, big props to Tim Brown. 11 touchdown catches shy of becoming the 4th player in NFL history to catch 100 touchdowns. He now has 13 touchdowns in his career against the Broncos, his most against any opponent. Of course, the all-time leader in NFL touchdown catches, Brown's teammate Jerry Rice with 179. Scott Van Pelt, just do me a favor. Make sure that when Sean Salisbury said that he played with Rodney Peete, he meant he was his teammate.
I want.
Last Monday night, the Raiders used their opening drive to make a statement.
If you get a chance, if you see him coming, get a shot. Get a shot. That's what you're there for.
Still in this blood feud, the most important points are made with the pads, and the licks were plentiful and painful.
That's going to hurt tomorrow. I feel good about it.
While this hit forced Rich Gannon to skip some plays, he returned to make sure Oakland's offense didn't skip a beat.
Let's go west right, zoom short. 72X drive, halfback slow screen right.
Gannon fired 3 touchdown passes to help the Raiders snap a 7-game losing streak to their divisional nemesis.
Be smart about what you say about Denver. It's a great rivalry. And I know you players would rather play nobody else than them.
In this San Diego tour, fraternizing with Raider fans?
Don't do it. Don't do it. I can tell you. I've been there. Don't do it.
Rich Gannon has not been picked off since the first series of Week 1 against Kansas City, and he says, hey, I can complete him to anyone. There's Tim Brown, the juggling catch. Gannon to Tim Brown, and very quickly, it's 7-0. But the Chargers' first play from scrimmage. Razzle-dazzle. Flutie, double reverse, and block. Curtis Conway makes the move across the field. Wow, he could go all the way. 67 yards, 7 all Bolts and Raiders. Later first, Gannon to Jerry Rice. In the end zone, 39 years young, Jerry Rice, 14-7. Score 14-10 in the third. Oh my goodness. Ryan McNeil makes the pick. 278 straight passing attempts before this interception for Gannon. Congratulations, it had to end sometime. Ronnie Jenkins, back to get the kick down, 17-10. Gone. Had a big kick deep into Raider territory earlier, and now he has this one, 93 yards, tied at 17. Mike Riley looking on, but he would like Rich Gannon. Early fourth, first play. Beautiful to Jerry Rice, 24-17, Oakland. Next Charger possession. Flutie, Conway, big play to the 40. LaDainian Tomlinson, 10-yard pickup. Leads to a 1-yard TD. Tomlinson, 24 all. Just over 4 minutes to go, Gannon slides to the 21, first down, Oakland. Later in the drive, 2nd and 9, Rice, slam, avoids 2 tackles, touchdown. 3 to Jerry today, 31-24 the Raiders. Flutie magic. Oh, no. 3rd and 7 from the 33. Flutie fumbles. William Thomas falls on it. Raiders kick a field goal, and they beat the Chargers 34-24. So San Diego once 5-2, now 5-5. Oakland back on the winning track at 7-2.
Yeah, and again, we talk about how difficult it is to learn to win on a consistent basis. The Chargers going through that, and what a day for Jerry Rice. He looked awfully quick today. That's the old Rice we saw.
This is like an Aussie Rules football stadium, you know. The fans are crazy.
No one comes to our stadium and think they're going to beat us. Black hole, but anybody's got to know this has got to be us, because no matter what happens, we win this up front, and we win this with us.
Early on, Oakland controlled the trenches and the skies as 14-year veterans Rich Gannon and Tim Brown hooked up to open the scoring.
Nice job, young guy. Nice job, young guy.
In a game that flip-flopped more often than a California surfer, San Diego's Curtis Conway needed just 1 play to reverse Oakland's momentum.
Midfield, 45, 40, cuts middle. He's going to go all the way. 30. Can Dorsett catch? Watch him. 20, 15, 10. Dorsett dives. He can't get him. Touchdown, San Diego.
Raiders coach John Gruden boiled over for a minute until his rice was ready. Jerry Rice's 12-yard touchdown excited the black hole crowd that invited the Chargers to kiss their passes. On a day when San Diego's kickoff return team outgained their offense, NFL leader Ronnie Jenkins provided another instant response to Oakland's air attack.
Ronnie Jenkins going to go all the way on the kickoff return. Kirby can't get him. 10-5. He has tied the game.
All right. That's the way to go.
1, 2, 3 now, baby. Let's make our job easy. 1, 2, 3 now. 3 now. Yep. 1, 2, 3 now.
The Chargers' defense couldn't contain Rice, who had 131 receiving yards in his best game as a Raider to date. Instead of music, the Raiders felt the punishing block of number 74, Raleigh Roundtree, who cleared the way for LaDainian Tomlinson to knot the game at 24. But in his 17th season, Jerry Rice finally revealed the secret ingredient in his becoming the NFL's greatest receiver: delicious playmaker candy.
Gannon looks right, slant, Rice got it, 10, 5, he goes into the end zone, touchdown, Raiders!
All about being a playmaker, you know what I mean? And we got it on film, too.
It's a hell of a win for us. Way to start the second half of the season. Now listen to me. We cannot let a football team back into a ball game when we got them on the ropes. You guys agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Unacceptable today. Unacceptable for the standards that are established here. Are we clear on that? Yes, sir. There ain't no day off tomorrow. We get in there, we look at this film, we correct it. We got to get our work done. We got to get our work done. God bless you. You gave a hell of an effort, but you're supposed to.
New York football Giants come home for a late kickoff at 5-5 after they Monday night thud in Minnesota. Jim Fossil, somewhat turning the page back to last season, said the Giants need to win the rest of the games to get in the playoffs. When reminded, you're playing 7-2 Oakland on Sunday. Fossil amended it to 5-6, which, by the way, is still accurate. If they win 5-6, they'll get in the playoffs. The New York press, of course, played it as an almost guarantee. Jim was very clear. He said, when I guarantee something, I'll say it. I did not say guarantee. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee against the Raiders. Just ask NFC East leading Philly. Remember, Oakland came into Philly, and they blasted them at the Vet 20-10 a month ago. Oakland's 250 points, almost 28 points a game, second best to the Rams. So the Giants better not try to outscore the Raiders. To the Meadow, we'll talk the same language, listen to the same tunes. I mean, impressive. The Oakland Raiders. They are at the Meadowlands. And John Gruden, I think he's focused. Jim Fossil saying his team's got to win 5-6 to get in the playoffs. Charlie Garner, handoff, outside. And the Giant defense, which had trouble Monday night at the Metrodome, gives up on the first play of scrimmage 38 yards. 5 plays later, Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice, all the way down to the 3, setting up a Zach Crockett run, 7-0. And first quarter later, Tiki Barber, nice cut, in, then out. And watch this. Boom to Charles Woodson, 36-yard gain. Sets up Morton Anderson, 47-yard field goal. And to one of the great guys in the game, our congratulations. Only the third player to score over 2,000 points. Gary Anderson, George Blanda, who he'd passed, and now Morton. And here's the screen to Charlie Garner.
Yeah, Adam True right there, going to get the first block for him. Great timing on the setup of the block, and that was Frank Middleton in front, leading him to the end zone.
So the Raiders in control, 14-3, and then Gannon to Rice. And he does this so well. The little 10-yard play turned into 34 yards. We've seen it for 17 years. Gannon, pump fake to Timmy Brown. Beats the defense. Gone. 46 yards. Brown, speaking of milestones, passing 900 for his career in this game. And then it was a hard read. Is going to follow beat. Kerry Collins, blitz, pass, deflects. Joe Jurevicius somehow catches it at the 50. And the rain. Collins to the well-dressed Amani Toomer. Down to the 21.
3 plays later on 3rd and 2. Barber takes the handoff. But look at Tiki change directions, Tommy. 21-10, it's a touchdown. Giants 4th and 8 in the 4th quarter. Collins to Jerebicius. Torrey James gets back to make the play. Ensuing possession, Raiders. Pump fake Gannon. 40 yards to Timmy Brown. And then on 3rd and 7, Gannon to Brown. Makes the catch. Touchdown. The Raiders in the rain. They win it 28-10. Brown over 100. And the Oakland Raiders have up their mark to 8-2. They've gone into Philly and bamboozled the Eagles. They've gone into New York and bamboozled the Giants. They're a team hitting on all cylinders. Coach John Gruden, slick down look, you understand, with Sal Paolantonio.
Thanks, Chris. John, you were able to come east on 3 different occasions, beat Indianapolis, Philadelphia, and now the New York Giants. What does it say about your football team?
We got some good players. We have a long way to go yet. I just so happy for William Thomas. He went through a lot of adversity and lost a brother, but flew in here and helped us win. We got a long way to go, but we got to win on the East time zone. We got to win in any time zone.
I saw you were able to go down the middle of the field in the seam after pump faking to the right side and then hitting the left post.
Well, we got a couple plays that are vertical routes that the Raiders like to use every once in a while, and we caught him in a 3-deep zone, and Tim Brown is a master at work in the middle of the field, and Rich Gannon made some great throws.
Congratulations.
Up the middle to Garner, going to bump outside right, room to go, 40, 45, midfield, 45 of the Giants, 40.
Last Sunday in New York, it was the Oakland Raiders who set the tempo on the very first play from scrimmage.
Just an incredible way to start the game.
And that equals the longest play from scrimmage for the Raiders this year. Here comes Zach behind Richie, diving into the end zone. Touchdown.
The Raiders' opening drive covered 71 yards in 8 plays and marked the beginning of another long afternoon for the New York Giants.
Garner, good block by Drew Middleton to lead him 10-5. Touchdown, Raiders!
While the Raiders built an 18-point halftime lead, receiver Tim Brown became just the 5th player ever to catch over 900 passes.
Lead, pump fake left, look middle, and Gannon has Brown wide open, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
It wasn't until the 3rd quarter that the Giants crossed the goal line for the first and only time.
Gary, let's go. Cluster right, F field, 36 counter F.
Giants strong side left. Handoff right for Barber. Cuts it at the 10.
With over 180 yards of total offense, Tiki Barber provided the Giants' only silver lining on a black cloud of an afternoon.
Tiki's going to score. Gorgeous cutbacks by Barber. 12-yard touchdown run. It's been all Tiki Barber. And the Giants finally get a touchdown on the board with 4:10 to go in the 3rd.
Listen up now. This is where we had our letdown last week. Let's go. No more letdown last week. Let's go. Okay, this is a new week, new success. Here we go.
Actually, it is the Giants who've had a month-long letdown, dropping 5 of their last 7 games.
Before he can get back and set up, he's under pressure.
New York fans reacted to their team's demise with stoic dignity. Surprisingly, the Giants met all 3 goals they set last Sunday. They had no turnovers, cut down on penalties, and improved their running game. The result was an 18-point loss punctuated by Tim Brown's 2nd touchdown.
There's a man out there. Tim Brown makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! What a catch by Brown! Boy, he adjusts beautifully on the football. A gorgeous night.
The Raiders played for something more than a 3-game lead in the AFC West. They played for William Thomas, whose brother died unexpectedly on Friday. Thomas returned from Texas on Sunday morning, then went out and had a team-high 8 tackles and 3 assists.
Guys, I tell you what William Thomas did for this football team. You know, we have Willie. Hey, a great football player, a great man. It's gonna be a tough couple weeks, a couple tough months forever for him. We're gonna help him through this. But how can we thank William Thomas enough, man? Game ball, William.
for distracting quarterbacks. So when the Raiders' Rich Gannon was told throw the ball to Tim Brown, he could have sworn they said throw the ball to the ground. Gannon finally heard the right call, hitting Tim Brown for a crucial fourth-quarter touchdown. A field goal then gave the Raiders a 1-point lead with under 2 minutes to play. Arizona's Jake Plummer must have cotton in his ears. Ignoring the crowd, Plummer found David Boston for a 50-yard touchdown pass to regain the lead.
And Jake Plummer's 15th come-from-behind victory. It ain't over yet. If they let 1 minute and 18 seconds run off the clock.
The Raiders needed 7 points to force overtime, so they turned to Jerry Rice, who caught 3 passes for 60 yards, including the game-tying touchdown.
Rice, Williams, Porter, Gannon looks for Rice. He's got it. Touchdown, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice showed that the Raiders won't go down easy, but David Dunn's fumbled punt return gave Arizona the hard-earned victory in overtime. The successful field goal by Bill Gramatica made him the second Gramatica of the day to kick a game-winning field goal in overtime. After 16 years, Jerry Rice thought he'd seen everything. Having watched the raucous crowds of Oakland fall silent, maybe he has.
Kansas City had beaten Oakland 18 of 20, or the Raiders, I should say, but John Gruden's Raiders have now beaten the Chiefs 4 in a row, including week 1 this year. Trent Green with his team up 10-7, swings to Priest Holmes. And what a game Priest Holmes had, running and receiving. 67 yards, Chiefs lead 17-7. With the Raiders score to make it 17-14, Gannon to Jerry Rice. He fumbles, he recovers. Hey, you know what? This would be a historic day. Jerry now has 20,000 yards receiving, including this touch at 20,000 yards. The next one's in the 14,000. He's lapped the field. Congratulations, JR. 21-17. The Chiefs punt to Timmy Brown. They cut Gunn, who fumbled the punt last week in their loss. And Brown, first punt return for a touchdown since 91. His 100th career touchdown. There it is. Lead at 28-17. Travian Smith intercepts his pass from Trent Green, but returns the favor with a Pepe. And the Chiefs recover. 3 minutes to go. 4th and goal. Down 8. Green. Pass defense nicely by Charles Woodson. Raiders running out the clock with 2 minutes to go. And Dwayne Big Man Clemens blows the saxophone. Forces Rich Gannon with a fumble. Raiders have turned it over 4 times, and instead of running out the clock, Kansas City down by 8 has a chance. Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, touchdown. 23 yards, 28-26, gotta go for 2. Can we go to overtime like the Raiders did last week? But Reagan Upshaw with the sack, and Trent Green doesn't get rid of it.
You got to get the ball out of your hands. You have to get at least what matters. If it doesn't matter if you get an interception at that point.
And then the onside kick, Joey Porter recovers for the Raiders, who hang on to up their mark to 9-3. They beat the Chiefs 5 in a row, barely though. 28-26, despite Priest Holmes, 109 yards receiving, 168 yards rushing. The first Chief to go over 1,000 since the Nigerian Nightmare. Christian Okoye, 1991, 277 for Holmes, but the Raiders win it.
And I just don't think you can say enough about
This season has been a delicate balancing act for Chiefs running back Priest Holmes, as the NFL's current leading rusher has also found time to be a proficient pass catcher. On Sunday in Oakland, Holmes racked up 277 yards from scrimmage, more than the entire Raider team. Number 49, Tony Richardson's crunching block was responsible for 10 of them.
Lead play, off tackle, right, Holmes cuts it back left inside the 5, breaks 2 tackles, and squirts into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
What a drive that was. That was a Priest Holmes drive.
Slip screen, Holmes, 45-50, one man to beat. It's a foot race, and Holmes is out on the races. Touchdown, Priest Holmes. Touchdown, Kansas City.
I'm telling you, he's running as well as any back in the National Football League right now.
Raider fans didn't need to worry just yet, as former Chief Rich Gannon led the Silver and Black on 2 second-quarter scoring drives for a 21-17 halftime lead. In the third quarter, Tim Brown called for a fair catch, but an inadvertent whistle forced a re-kick. The ageless veteran got a second chance to make his first punt return in 3 years memorable.
He's going to go on the 11, trying to get outside. Look at Brown, 30. Brown to midfield. Brown to the 40 of the Chiefs. Brown to the 30. Brown to the 20. His first punt return is a touchdown. Incredible. No fair catch needed this time.
Needing a first down to ice the win, Gannon called the same bootleg on which he scored earlier.
And he's got the first down, but he fumbled the ball. The ball's free, and now a wild pile. It is Chiefs football.
Down 8 with new life, Kansas City had just over a minute to even the contest.
Firing for Gonzalez, he's got it. Touchdown. And the Chiefs are within a 2-point conversion from tying the game. Green back. No, he got hit from behind. He fumbled the ball, and the Raiders have a 28-26 lead.
Escaping with their 9th win, the Raiders hope their suddenly suspect defense won't be their eventual kiss of death come the postseason. Last Saturday, Oakland looked to pass a preliminary benchmark on the road to the Super Bowl by becoming the first team to repeat as AFC West champions since the 1986-87 Broncos. Oakland saw their running game stalled by the league's 6th most opportunistic defense. With its ground attack neutralized, the Raiders turned to the NFL's top-rated passer, Rich Gannon, who had a consistent but unspectacular day, spreading 221 yards over 20 completions.
Gannon back, steps up, throws deep, Rice wide open, got it! Touchdown, Jerry Rice!
As the California sun retreated, the Chargers advanced, and the Raiders, clinging to a 10-6 lead, made a stand on their own 2-yard line.
Play action, looks right, throw intercepted again by the Raiders, and this one may go a long way. A lateral back to Woodson by Thomas. Woodson to the 45-yard line. Willie Thomas, an incredible play. May have just saved the game for the Raiders.
William Thomas's second interception set up a field goal that stretched the Raider lead to 7. Still enough time remained for Doug Flutie to pick himself up and lead one final drive to avert a 7th straight loss.
Raiders by a touchdown. Here's shotgun. Here Flutie on 2nd and 10. Makes the throw. There's Conway with a catch at the 40. Broke a tackle. 35, 30, 25 to the 23-yard line. They have no timeout. Well,
3 snaps following Conway's reception netted the Chargers just 1 yard.
now it's down to one play. The club that hasn't had a last-second win in so long needs a miracle here. Flutie, the snap, the throw, high up, Jeffrey Graham. And they say, no, incomplete. An absolute whiff by number 81. His 4th drop of the day.
The Raiders will kneel down and win the AFC West.
You guys are the repeat AFC Western champions. I just want to tell you guys how proud I am of you, how happy I am for you guys. Doc, guys, do we play some freaking defense or what?
Tough and tenaciously to their faint playoff hopes. After a scoreless first half, a 30-yard touchdown pass from Steve McNair to Kevin Dyson helped Tennessee assume a 10-0 lead. But in the fourth quarter, Rich Gannon brought the Raiders back, and he did it with a helping hand from the incomparable Jerry Rice, number 80.
Gannon going to throw a deep one for Rice. He juggles and makes the catch. A tremendous one-hand catch inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. What a catch by Jerry Rice. As he beat Deron Jenkins again, Jenkins completely got toasted.
Rice Davis's grab set up a touchdown, but with the contest knotted at 10, Tennessee mounted a drive that gave them a 3-point lead with 1:47 remaining. Then the Raiders pinned their chances for a tie on the toe of Sebastian Janikowski, who had already missed 2 field goals in this game.
Janikowski with 11 seconds to play. Titans lead 13-10. Snap, set, kick on the way. No good! No good! Janikowski missed again! And the Titans are going to come to the West Coast and beat the Oakland Raiders.
Although Oakland is playoff bound, the team's second home loss in the last 3 games suggests that maybe the Raiders have already had their kicks.
At Broncos. Broncos trying to salvage their season. Mike Shanahan always has the number of the Raiders, although John Gruden's Raiders snapped the 7-game losing streak to the Broncos earlier this year. Rich Gannon to Jerry Rice, 29 yards. Rice over 1,000 yards 13 times in his career, extending his record. Raiders down 6-3. Broncos. Tommy, where's the pass?
Well, they only rushed 2 people, so they dropped 9 into coverage. Gave Gannon too much time to look at the field down in the red zone.
Touchdown to Charlie Garner. It's 10-6 for Gruden. There it is. Lead at 17-13, 10 minutes to go. 4th quarter. Brian Greasy, Rod Smith. Touchdown Denver. They lead 20-17. Smith breaks the franchise record for catches in a season. Raiders trying to come back. Gannon lobs. Delta Dawn. Delta O'Neal had that 4-pick game earlier this year. He makes the interception. Gannon, Gruden saying we want another shot. Down 23-17. That may not all they've been saying. 4th and 2, 31 seconds left. Gannon to Tim Brown for a first down. Gannon to Jerry Rice. Just short of a first down with 22 seconds to go. 2nd and 1. Gannon incomplete in the end zone for Timmy Brown. 3rd down, down 23-17. Gannon. Eric Brown breaks up the pass intended for Roland Williams. 7 seconds left. Last play. Gannon. Scrambling. Kenoy Kennedy ends it. And so Mike Shanahan, 12-2 lifetime against his former team, the Raiders. And obviously, he's won 8 of the last 9. Denver really slips a Mickey to Oakland, beating him 23-17.
And what a day that Gannon had throwing the football, but again, you see the lack of support of the running game for the Raiders. They don't have the balance.
All right, let's explain all this now. Pittsburgh is now the #1 seed. Believe it or not, if New England wins next week, they win the East, and they would be the #2 seed. If they lose and Miami wins, they win the East, they're the 2 seed. Oakland is probably booted the bye. They're probably going to be the 3rd seed.
Oakland's last 6 visits to Denver have been painful defeats.
Gannon.
A battered Rich Gannon was determined to end the streak.
Goes for the end zone. It is caught. A leaping catch made by Garner.
Gannon guided the Raiders to a 17-13 4th quarter lead. But in the seesaw struggle, the Broncos soared back ahead.
Brian Greasy drops 7 steps. Steps up in the pocket. Throws crossing route. Rod Smith going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The game's 6th lead change seemed in the offing.
Loop left for Rice. A one-hand catch. He's gone. Jerry Rice will score the biggest touchdown he's ever scored as a Raider. But hold on. There's a flag down. What's it for? A trip on the Raiders will nullify the touchdown.
On the Raiders' final possession, Gannon had 3 chances at snatching victory from the Broncos' 16-yard line.
Last play, 7 seconds to go. The Raiders got to get in the end zone from the Denver 16-yard line. He's going to run. No, he can't run. He throws, intercepted on the goal line. Taken by Kenoy Kennedy, and the game is over. The Raiders lose.
The Raiders, a tale of 2 cities, or a tale of 2 coasts. Dickens wrote it, we'll say it. It was the best of times, it's the worst of times. The 9-6 New York Football Jets, and when they're in, they're staring at the following: 6-28 in the last 11 years from December on, under everybody but Billy Parcells. And at Oakland, last win, 1962. New York Titans playing at long-forgotten Frank Ewell Field. Since then, they're 0-8-1 there in Oakland, anywhere, including 31-7 last December. And then straight AFC West, the first time since 75-76. The bad news? 2 straight losses. Losers of 3 of their last 5, including 2 of their last 3 at home. Last week at Denver, they fell while knocking on the goal line. It was a tumultuous week in their locker room, or Edward, or whatever locker room they happen to be using. Good morning.
Darrell Russell's been suspended for a year. Sebastian Janikowski hospitalized and doubtful with an infection in his kicking foot. Jerry Rice returned only Friday from his ailing father's bedside in Mississippi. Hastily preparing for the past 36 hours, Rice rejoins Tim Brown today to form the league's #1 scoring tandem.
We haven't put in a lot of new stuff this week, so that's going to surprise him. So, and I tell him what to do every time we come out the hole anyway, so we're going to be fine.
This is what I do, and these are the guys that I go to battle with. So, you know, I'm just going to go out there with the intent on, you know, just playing my best football.
Lay it all the line today. Let's go all the line today. Let's go.
Let's go, defense!
The Raiders' defense was burned on the Jets' second play from scrimmage.
Coles inside the 35 to the 30, down the sideline, and gone! Touchdown, New York Jets!
Hey, gonna be all right, guys. Gonna be all right.
Let's go. Come on, baby.
For the rest of the first half, Oakland's defense kept Vinny Testaverde on the run, forcing critical New York errors. As the Jets began to stagger, the Raiders regained their swagger.
That's good penetration now when he's at 8 yards. He cannot handle penetration.
Be Charlie Gardner at halfback. Need a pass receiving halfback.
Charlie Garner has been effective out of the backfield this year, but for tough yards, head coach John Gruden can still call on bruising Tyrone Wheatley.
Give me Wheatley. Hey, Reg. Let's go, Purdue. Green, get Garner out. Green right slot. H2 run, MDL.
Hands off to Wheatley, up the gut, and the hammer dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! What a run by Wheatley there.
Late in the second quarter, the Jets took a 14-9 lead.
Return, they block the punt ball on the goal line, and the Jets will pick it up for a touchdown. It is a touchdown. Chris Hayes blocked the punt.
The game's third lead change came with under a minute left in the first half.
Play action to Garner, Gannon back steps up, loops one wide open, touchdown, Roland Williams.
The score gave Oakland a 16-14 lead at the half.
Big man every now and then. You might like it.
The Jets preferred throwing to the little man, number 80, Wayne Crabette. The game's fourth lead change gave New York a 21-19 lead entering the fourth quarter.
30, 20, he will score. Touchdown, Lamont Jordan goes 46 yards. Come on, Raiders! You gotta get it together!
Sit, Tony, keep fighting, baby. Keep fighting, don't let him penetrate now. Keep fighting.
A Raider field goal put Herman Edwards' team in a 22-21 deficit before Oakland almost put the game out of reach.
Wide open, Roland Williams, the overthrow. Come on! Come on, get it!
The Jets needed the game's sixth lead change of the day to win the game and go to the playoffs.
Here's a huge play. 3rd and 10 Jets on their own 36-yard line. Down the point. 2 minutes to go. Testaverde going to roll to his right. Rolling, throwing down the middle. Caught. First down, Swain. into Raider territory. We're going for the field goal. Here is John Hall. It's going to be a long one. It is a 53-yarder with 1:04 to play. Here likely is the whole day's activities in the one kick. He has it down. The kick is away, and it is good. He made it. The Jets sideline explodes. And that will end the game. And the New York Jets are going to beat the Raiders here in Oakland today, 24-22.
I knew you had it, though, all the way. I'm telling you, I called it before it even happened.